Somebody going to throw me a, what are those things you guys do back there? Just tell me when you want me to start.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yep. Ready to start?
Ready. Yep. All ready.
Okay, I'd like to thank everyone for attending this morning. It's maybe one of the most beautiful mornings we've had in a long time, so it's nice to see everybody here. I'm John Teeples. I'm the Non-Ottawa Impact Republican candidate for Georgetown District 7. I'm an attorney of 38 years. I have a lot of experience that I can help the county with on multiple levels, and I'm a lifelong Republican. I don't know how else to say the word lifelong, but I am. And all of these folks are here too. So I've served on numerous leadership positions throughout West Michigan over the last 3 decades, and I'm here to serve. No other agenda but to serve. I'd like to introduce the other candidates that are here today, but all of the non-Ottawa Impact Republican candidates wanted to be here, and there's a legitimate reason why they're not. Schedules just didn't permit it. There may be some others that will be attending, and if we're up here, they're going to walk right up and stand, because we're going to provide opportunities at the end for questions you may have. Okay. So first of all, I'd like to introduce Jim Barry in District 1, Jordan Jortsema, District 2, Mark Northrop, obviously District 5 here, Sean Half in District 6, and myself, I'm 7 of course, and Sarah Bajima in District 8.
11.
Yeah, you messed that one up, didn't you? Yeah. That's what I get for not looking at my notes. So anyway, yeah, 11. So in any event, I'd also like to introduce some people that are in the audience that have played a major role in the Republican Party throughout our county for decades. First of all, Roger Bergman, who was on the current commission and past chair of the board. Roger, Kurt Van Koevering, he's the past GOP congressional district chair, and he's also an organizer of Ottawa, Conservative Ottawa, and we're going to ask Kurt to say a few words too. Jim Northrop, right here, former chair of the county board and former mayor of Hudsonville. Mark Boslong is the pastor of Jenison Bible Church, somewhere, I know he's here. So, and then Field Reichart, former congressional district chair, and he's worked on 4 Republican presidential campaigns. So first I'd like to begin and say that after the candidates are going to come up and make a few comments, and then I will come back. We will open the forum to questions, and I'm thinking that by 11:15 we end it, and then we'll stick around to answer any questions anybody might have, so that people can get on their schedules and go. All right. So the purpose of this press conference today is to discuss issues that directly affect Ottawa County, and primarily to address one issue. We called the conference to respond to and reject the Ottawa County's GOP's executive committees, which is controlled by Ottawa Impact representatives, their outrageous and hypocritical assertion that we Republican candidates who reject the Ottawa Impact brand of being a Republican should withdraw from this campaign. First, know this: we will not withdraw. And we will not stand by and allow the Ottawa County GOP Executive Committee and a few other Ottawa Impact supporters dictate how the thousands of eligible voters in Ottawa County should think or vote. We have a primary election for a reason, and it is not for a few people to tell the rest of us how to think or act. Voters should decide based on who they believe is the most qualified, who works the hardest, and whose message resonates with them. A minority of a few are not the ultimate determining body for the entire county. So with that, I'd like to introduce Jim Barry.
Good morning. My name is Jim Barry, and I'm a Republican. I'm also the Republican candidate for Ottawa County Commissioner for District 1. I'm here today because the Ottawa Impact-controlled County Republican Party has issued a resolution to demand that I and any of the party endorsed candidates immediately ceased running for office as a Republican. As I said, I'm a Republican. My stepdad, Gerald Huizinga, was a Republican Ottawa County Commissioner back in the day. As a middle school age kid, I remember him taking me to Ottawa County Lincoln Day dinners. I grew up Republican. As an adult, I volunteered with the county party. I remember going door to door for State Senator Wayne Kuipers back in the 90s. I remember loading voter guides into my car, and my younger son, Andrew, would be leaning out of the front passenger window, stuffing newspaper tubes on mailboxes, and as I'm driving, he's leaning out the window, I'm hanging onto his belt. If his mother knew that, we'd both be dead today. As my half-brother, Bill Huizinga, began his political journey, I continued to serve the party. I've been an elected precinct delegate from Park Township continuously since 2010. Over the years, I've served the Ottawa County Party as vice chair, treasurer, and campaign co-chair twice. To say I'm not Republican is nuts. I'm a pro-growth, pro-family, pro-life, back to blue, tax-cutting, limited government, conservative Republican. I've got history with the Ottawa County Republican Party, and for the first time in the history of the Michigan Republican Party, the party bosses in Ottawa County held an endorsement convention. By state law, Michigan has an open primary where voters choose the eventual nominees. For the sake of the party officials never took sides in contested primaries. By tradition, candidates would have it out and voters would decide who best represents the interests of hardworking families in Ottawa County. And when the primary is done, the party unites and supports the eventual nominees. However, the Ottawa County bosses think voters can't be trusted to decide who can best represent their own interests. They think they know better than you. They think you're too dumb to be trusted to make those decisions. Their end game is to control who may call themselves a Republican. They will eliminate open primaries and have nominees determined in closed convention, disenfranchising Republican voters from the entire process. This sounds like Politburo politics to me. Ironically, the party bosses behind the sham aren't the ones that are really Republicans. Most of the Ottawa Impact inspired people that hijacked the county party I've never seen before January of 2023. I don't remember them volunteering for committees. I don't remember them stuffing voter guides. I don't remember them attending Lincoln Day dinners. I don't remember them hitting doors on walk days or making get out the vote calls on election day. These are things that Republicans do. The county party bosses aren't going to tell me or any of these other candidates up here today who are challenging their hand-picked, vetted candidates who may or may not be Republicans. We can never allow to end the system where candidates compete to earn the right to be the party's nominee. The system where voters decide who understands their concerns and can best represent them in elected office. I'm Jim Barry, Republican candidate for Ottawa County Commissioner for District 1.
Thanks, John, for scheduling this. Thank you, everyone, for being here. This is an important topic we're talking about. My name's Jordan Juritzma. I'm from Ottawa County Commission District 2, and I'm running to be your next county commissioner. I'm standing here today. I'm very disappointed in my county party, an organization that I've been a member of and an active participant in since I was 18 years old. And an organization that until very recently, I and many in my community had the utmost respect for. Now, however, I'm disappointed that I have to stand here today to rebuff attacks that have been leveled by the folks who are currently in charge of the county party against me and against many of my fellow Republicans back here. This May, the Ottawa County GOP held its first ever endorsement convention, not to endorse candidates for November, but to endorse candidates in August. This is not only unprecedented, but it erodes trust and confuses voters. So let me make this plain. I'm a conservative Republican. I have always been a conservative Republican. I'm endorsed by Right to Life. I'm pro-family, pro-freedom, and pro-Ottawa County. And I will not be forced out of this race. I think what we're doing here today is important. It sends a message. There are those who are trying to confuse people in the county, and we need to make it clear that We will not be bullied. We will not be forced out of this race. We're here for a message of positivity, a message of stability, and a message of saving you money. And it's that simple. If you agree with that, get out and vote in August. If you don't agree with that, well, you have your other choice too. My name's Jordan. I'm from Ottawa County Commission District 2, and I do hope you get out and vote in August, and I hope you make your voice heard. Thank you.
Good morning on a wonderful, lovely Hudsonville day. I am privileged to be here. I am Mark Northrup. I am the mayor of Hudsonville, and I am running for the 5th District in Ottawa County. This is a sacred place to me. Government properties, my city hall, this Veterans Park is a place near and dear to all of us, and for me it's quite sacred. For the past 10 years, I've been privileged to hold a Memorial Day event here, where we have spoken with leaders from the community. I've stood on these grounds with Bill Huizenga, Jim, your brother. I've stood on these grounds with Roger Victory, Luke Merriman. I've stood on these grounds with Mayor Don, Mayor Jim, where are you? People that have been leaders in our community and that have sacrificed and given much of their lives to serve us. And I've been privileged to follow in their footsteps and that legacy. 2 months ago, my friend here, Chris, spoke about being an A-10 pilot in combat. He spoke about a friend of his who was the wingman who got shot down. He went around to look at the plane that was shot down to determine whether or not he could provide cover. The wingman was shot down, he was killed. The lead pilot was rescued and saved. Thank you for those very moving words. You see, the Constitution requires us to all be wingmen, irrespective of party. I've stood on these grounds with Democrats and Republicans alike, not because they're my enemy, but because they're friends of mine in the Constitution. Peter Dykow, the representative for Senator Peters, by the way, he's a Democrat. Peter and I have spoken several times. We have policy disagreements, but he is my friend, and Democrats are not my enemies, nor are members of my own party my enemies. We are all wingmen to the Constitution. Finally, I'd like to say just a final few words here. The cult of Ottawa Impact needs to end, and it will end in 18 days. Our county party will be restored to integrity, honesty, and goodness. No more lies and destructive agendas. Good leaders will be honored and supported, like Pete Hoekstra, a noted statesman who's denied that endorsement by my own party in my county. The citizens deserve transparency, fiscal responsibility once again. A wholesome vision will be reaffirmed that includes economic growth, public services, housing, transportation, daycare systems, the things the government should be doing instead of political hyper-polarization. I am Mark Northrup. I am running for the 5th District of Ottawa County against Ottawa Impact, but for all Democrats and all Republicans. Thank you.
Good morning. Thanks everyone for being here. I am Sean Happ. I am running for County Commissioner in District 6, the southern part of Georgetown Township. I have been a proud conservative Republican for nearly 30 years. Back in college, I was with the College Republicans, Students for Life. When I was in law school, I was president and a member of the Federalist Society. The Federalist Society is a group of conservative and libertarian lawyers that made suggestions for Neil Gorsuch and Justice Kavanaugh now that Donald Trump appointed to the Supreme Court that overturned the Chevron defense and Roe versus Wade. Now, does that sound like I'm some fake Democrat? I'm a Democrat running as a Republican in this primary? Absolutely not. I'm a strong conservative and I'm proud of it. I'm endorsed by Right to Life of Michigan, the Conservative Ottawa PAC. During the course of this election cycle, I've gotten to know people like John Teeples, Rachel, Jim Barry, and everyone else standing here, Jordan, and Mayor Mark Northrup. I'm sorry, I called you Mayor Adams the other day. I don't know what was behind that, but I've gotten to know you people, and let me assure everyone here, they are strong Republicans. What I find interesting about Ottawa Impact and their candidates is they have a record to run on. Yet what are they doing? They're attacking people's character, attacking people's religion, like me, John, and the mayor. They're attacking people saying we're fake Democrats. They're not running on the issues. And let me quote a real strong Republican governor that I know Joe Moss really likes. It's easy to run a re-election campaign when you have a strong record to run on. So why aren't Ottawa Impact candidates running on their record? I encourage everyone watching this and that is here to do your research on the candidates. Do not fall for bumper sticker logic. You constantly hear about faith, family, and freedom. And I joke around with people on the campaign trail that even your atheist loves 2 out of the 3. So, dig deeper. Figure out what people mean when they talk about faith, family, freedom. Look into the issues. See who they support, and then make your decision and vote for the person that you believe running in your district to be the strongest Republican. And I can once again verify that all these people up here, from getting to know them, which is what smart people do. You just don't listen to rumors on the internet. You get to know people. You actually talk to them. And I know that these people are strong conservatives. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Bajema. I'm running in District 11. And the biggest reason I wanted to come today is I wanted to be very clear about who I am and what I stand for. I am a Republican. I always have been. And that will not change because somebody says that I'm a Democrat, period. The truth of the matter is what Ottawa Impact is doing is dangerous and it's hurtful. And the reason that they are doing it is because the bottom line is they do not know how to govern. And that is harmful. It's hurting the party and it's hurting Ottawa County. And that's why I'm running. Somebody needs to go in there who knows how to govern, who has integrity, because going door to door and telling people lies about me, telling people that I don't have family or that I'm not involved in the community is a lie. I have been doing this for a long time. I have been involved with my community, work, leadership councils for years. That is who I am. That is what I will continue to do as a Republican, because I am a Republican, period. I'm Sarah Bajema, running for District 11. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Kurt Vancouvering with the Conservative of Ottawa. I've had 30 plus years of running, being involved in the party, running campaigns, served as the 2nd District Chairman for 2 terms. I'm also currently involved in running several campaigns. My experience has taught me that we look at the opposition as that, opposition, not our enemies. As we have to realize that while we may be in contested races this term, 2 years from now, we will be probably working on the same election. So we cannot destroy our fellow Republicans. In fact, we need to be cordial and respectful of each other. We're also, how should I say this? We're missing our real goal. As a party, we have to be able to unite after this primary, because we have to get President Trump re-elected or elected again. We also need to get Mike Rogers elected to Senate. With this type of rhetoric that they are using, we are not going to be able to do that. We are going to be a dysfunctional party, and the Democrats are winning. That is why we have to stop this type of language and assault on our candidates, be respectful of each other, focus on the issues, and work to getting our candidates elected. Thank you.
So it truly is a shame, I think, that we're having to have this conference at all. When I began my campaign, my very first speech, I called on all my supporters to double down on kindness support Ottawa Impact as a community so that we could come together again and unite. It seems like the only people that aren't listening to that, and I've repeated it, repeated it, in writing and in words, but it seems like the only people not listening to that are the Ottawa Impact candidates represented by the Ottawa County GOP. It's just a shame we're here. So with that though, we'd like to open up to questions. So if you have a specific question to somebody, let that person come up and so you can hear them. But I'll step back and wait for any questions you have. And if there's no questions and when they're done, we'll end. And otherwise we'll end at 11:15, okay? So.
Just anyone in general, how are you planning to draw a contrast between your campaigns and that of the Ottawa Impact Republican? Anyone go.
I think it's simply stated, it's good governance, responsible government, fiscal responsibility, serving the community, staying away from polarizing issues that are divisive, that don't serve anybody. But we've seen from Ottawa Impact wasteful spending on severances, attorneys. We've seen it on lawsuits. We've seen morale plummet in the county staff. We've seen 4 new unions come on board, all because they're driven by fear and hate, not out of governance. If that contrast can't be any more clear than what we up here as professionals stand for, then shame on us. Once again, we are all wingmen to the Constitution. The Constitution requires us to serve for goodness and for everybody. Does that help?
Anybody else?
I think one of the biggest differences is about availability. I mean, we throw around the word transparency a lot, but our board chair didn't talk to certain news organizations for over a year as an elected official. My own opponent hasn't shown up to candidate forums and didn't even respond to questionnaires in the newspaper, which to me is the bare minimum. If you're campaigning, don't you want people to know where you stand? But just being here today, being available for questions, I think sends a clear message. All these people, we want to be available. We want to answer your questions, and we're not trying to hide from media. We're not trying to hide from our constituents, and that's a huge difference.
I'll address the question myself too. Running as a candidate was not even on my agenda 6 months ago. I retired from law 2 years ago, and I'd much prefer doing other things. But I'm coming out of retirement because I know I can help. We shouldn't have all these lawsuits. We shouldn't have spent so much money in attorney fees and severance packages. We shouldn't be offering $4 million to an employee who had nothing to do with their issues, but she's a symbol of what's wrong with government. We shouldn't be doing this. We should have open and transparent meetings and not agendas that come out of the back room and changing public meeting agendas without the public even knowing about it. That's not Republican values. It's not conservatism. It's not transparent. And when they hire people to lead our county who have no experience in legal affairs, administration, running public facilities, but they hire them because they're affiliated with their philosophical beliefs, we all lose as a community because they're not the best and qualified candidates. Those aren't Republican principles, but we base our hiring on merit. So there's a big distinction. And when you look at this experience back here, this level of experience, and it's not just here, it's with those other county candidates like sheriff and prosecutor and treasurer. The level of experience that these candidates are offering in our county is incredible. Incredible. There's a huge distinction. And so I hope that helps, because I truly believe it. As an attorney representing hundreds of businesses, my clients trusted me to tell them the truth, even if they didn't like it. And I'm telling the community right now, these people here are servants with lots of experience that can make a big difference between what we've been getting the last 2 years.
Thank you.
How can the Republican Party come back together given the state of divisions right now?
I think it's easy to conflate local politics and national politics, and right now we see pretty unprecedented unity in our national politics, and that's exciting. It's exciting as a Republican to all be rowing in the same direction. Now in the state of Michigan and in our local party we have not been seeing that, but it's about being willing and open to hearing from both sides. I think everyone up here is willing to have conversations, and many have tried to have conversations with our primary opponents. And Ottawa County and West Michigan in general has always had a good tradition of unifying. So I hope we can do that. I know many of us are willing to unify with the opposition that we're facing in August afterwards. But it's first about being willing and civil and opening a dialogue. So if that's possible, I know many of us are willing to do that, and we'll see if there's reciprocation on that front.
If only some of you are elected and some Ottawa Impact people are still on the board, how do you plan to work with the Ottawa Impact Republicans in office?
I think as a public servant, part of our job is to work with people. We have to coordinate with them, we have to have concessions with them, we have to be open and honest with them. And I think having the servant attitude, as you do as a public elected official, is important. So, you know, I'm not going to be holding grudges, I'm not going to not talk to somebody, and I think I can speak for everybody else by saying that, you know, our focus will be getting things done. It will be working with people and having a good working relationship. So I think just focusing on that will be what will get it done.
I'd like to get back to Sarah's question real quickly. Ottawa Impact, when they took the party over, they required a special oath to Ottawa Impact. Now, from my perspective, being a former military officer, there's only one oath in our lives we are committed to swear our allegiance to, and that's to the Constitution, people. No other oath is necessary nor required, and anything else just merely polarizes us. So that difference couldn't be any more stark. We need to take the oath to the Constitution and get back to work. Stay away from polarizing issues, just saying words that don't mean anything. Faith, family, freedom. We all stand for faith, family, freedom. And it's kind of insulting when they imply we don't. We couldn't be any different than Ottawa Impact and what they represent and how they view government. We are here to serve everybody. They are there only to serve their thin layer of people that want to preach to us with scripture rather than practice their faith in their walk in life. Thank you.
Regarding the question about how we're going to work with people of Ottawa Impact, if some of us win and other members of Ottawa Impact get in the office, I would say one reason, I think everybody up here behind me agrees, is it's our love of Ottawa County. It's our love of Georgetown Township. If some of us get elected and there's members of Ottawa Impact there as well, we have to work with them for the best of the county. And I'm not going to let any political disagreements stop me personally from doing what's right to move forward in the right direction for Ottawa County.
Any other questions?
Is there any way they can force you out?
No, they cannot, but people can. But they can also put us in, and that's what we're counting on. Anybody else have a question?
Sean, you might talk a little bit about the county-wide candidates.
Yeah. So obviously they're not here, right? We don't have Sarah Matusik, Cheryl Clark, and Eric DeBoer. Believe me, I've been in communication this morning and last night with them. They wanted to be here, they just simply can't. You know, something about courts. So I'd like to just say on their behalf, when we look, just compare experience levels. When you have Sarah Bajema, Sarah Matusik, who has 23 years in the prosecutor office. You have Eric DeBoer with over 20 years in the sheriff's office, and you have Cheryl Clark that's been there forever and has handled our investments as a county for more than a decade. Those are experienced people that you don't want to lose. You cannot replace those people overnight. And we have some people we have left this county because of this controversy with Ottawa Impact, that it's going to be really hard to replace in the short term. So their level of experience to our county is beyond economics. It's beyond that. It's far greater than that. as a body that needs to lead our community of 300,000 or 400,000 people and over $300 million budget. We need experience here, and there's a huge difference. So those county elected officials, I've even said it, and I'll say this, I've said it to them and I've said it to others. It's more important that Sarah Badgerman win and Eric DeBoer win than me. Sarah, what have I got? What? Oh yeah, it's more important that Sarah Matusik and Eric DeBoer rather than me. Because if I lose, there's still going to be some dissent on that 11-member board that represent the community. But there is no backup. There is no backup to the leading prosecuting attorney in the county and the sheriff. There is nobody behind them. So if you get the wrong person in there, it will affect all of us for a long time. So I can't endorse those people more because they're qualified, they're experienced, and they know what they're doing, and they'll protect us as a community, and we need that. So I wish they were here, but they can't. So if there's any other questions?
I'd like to make one more comment.
Yeah, sure.
Like John, I'm an attorney, and I only do 99% of what I do is criminal defense work. And I wanted to talk about the local prosecutor's race. I've known Sarah Matusik for 16, 17 years. She's a rock-solid conservative Republican, a fierce prosecutor, and she definitely defends for victims of crime. If my wife or I were a victim of crime, I would absolutely prefer Sarah Matusik handling the case over Mr. Todd. And let me assure you, as somebody that's practiced criminal defense in nearly every county in West Michigan, the Ottawa County Prosecutor's Office is rock solid when it comes to taking on crime. They are not soft on crime at all. They are very difficult as far as making good plea deals as a criminal defense attorney. On my side, I feel like I'm Johnny Cochran in a lot of other counties, but when it comes to Ottawa County, I've got clients asking me, what exactly have you done? Because Ottawa County is telling my clients to plead guilty as charged a lot of time. They are absolutely tough on crime. Don't let anybody tell you anything otherwise. I know that from 15 years of experience doing criminal defense. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, I guess that'll end it. Again, thank you for all of you coming and spending the morning with us, and thank you for representing Ottawa County with us.